Firefighters are still putting out hot spots from a fire that destroyed 3 businesses in eastern Kentucky.
A dangerous combination caught several drivers off guard this morning in Scott County.
Mixture of sun and clouds all day long. Boy, it looks good outside. Finally getting some sunshine, finally getting much warmer conditions. I'll show you 60s in the forecast coming up.
This is WKYT News at Noon.
Good afternoon from WKYT News. I'm Barbara Bailey.
I'm Bill Bryant. Here's what's happening at noon. Even though the snow is gone and temperatures are warming up, the weather is continuing to cause some problems in central Kentucky.
Police in Scott County worked at least 7 crashes early this morning. As WKYT's Michelle Chamberlain reports, many drivers lost control on black ice. It's our top story at noon.
Over the past few days, we've had our fair share of snow and school cancellations. It appeared the roadways were safe this morning, catching several drivers off guard here in Scott County. Its transparency makes roadways dangerous.
Several wrecks were in the area.
Black ice. That hidden layer of ice can cause major issues for drivers.
Pretty slick out here this morning. When I was getting in my car to come to here, I almost slipped on ice myself, and this whole bridge was ice until we got salt put down on it.
Combine that black ice with fog, and the combination caused 4 crashes on this particular bridge of the 460 bypass.
Definitely don't want to get those calls.
Off-duty Scott County Deputy Jeremy Johnson got a call his 18-year-old daughter was involved in one of those crashes.
There was a wreck up ahead. My daughter was traveling, trying to slow down due to the other wreck. She hit her brakes, slid on ice, and rear-ended another subject.
Just to give you an idea of how surprised drivers were by the conditions of the road this morning, there were 8 non-injury single vehicle accidents in the matter of 30 minutes here in the county. In Scott County, Michelle Chamberlain, WKYT.
Michelle, thank you. And all the accidents this morning were non-injury crashes. A southern Kentucky road remains partially closed this midday as crews struggle to clean up from a mudslide. US 25 is shut down near Highway 909. Crews were about to reopen the road twice yesterday when more mud and debris slid down. The Transportation Department says 1 lane of US 25 is open in that area. Right now, they're letting traffic through on one side at a time, so you should expect some delays in that process. They also said that rocks, trees, and mud are still falling on that same stretch of road.
Quite a challenge there, but a nice day to be out there working if you have to be. Sunshine has returned to the bluegrass today, and those temperatures are warming up into the 40s, and we go even higher as we head toward the weekend. WKYT meteorologist Micah Harris is live in our First Alert Weather Center with a look ahead.
And it is a good look ahead, especially as we go off through the next few days, but it starts with today. We're looking outside, finally. Some sunshine, right? Got a couple of tweets. What's the big ball of fire in the sky? What is that? Yeah, that's sunshine, making a lot of people really happy now. The next few days, you'll actually see a little bit more of it. We're 39 degrees right now in Lexington. We're 40 degrees in Frankfort, 41 in Somerset. I haven't been able to say the 40s in quite some time, but we all will finish off in the 40s later on this afternoon. We'll call it the low to mid 40s. Much better conditions. Obviously, our focus of the forecast is just these consecutive days of very nice days. But let me tell you, it gets much warmer than 45, and I mean much warmer. I'll have that in your forecast. Show you those numbers in a few minutes.
Micah, thank you. Firefighters are back out at the scene of a huge fire in eastern Kentucky this midday. The fire broke out last night at the Trade Mart Shopping Center in Frenchburg. People were in some of the shops when the fire started, but they got out safely before the roof collapsed. WKYT's Mark Barber is in Menifee County, where crews are still putting out hot spots this midday. Mark?
What the flames didn't destroy, the smoke did. One of the business owners in the shopping center says he thought it was hard enough last night watching the fire tear through the shopping center. But then he says he showed up this morning.
Yeah, I mean, this is what we do. You know, this is a business of ours. You know, it's just it's gone.
Sam Cornett's military surplus store was destroyed around 7 last night by a large fire that also destroyed 2 other businesses on Main Street in Frenchburg. Firefighters from 3 counties battled the flames for hours last night. And today, they are still putting out hotspots at the Trade Mart convenience store.
It meant quite a bit. I mean, this place had a lot of traffic. You know, all the workers that work around here, they eat here. You know, they have pizzas, they got everything over there, so that's a loss right there.
Cornette's business and the Trade Mart were destroyed by heavy smoke and flames. While the fire did not reach the laundromat, it does have extensive smoke damage.
And you can cry all you want to, but we just have to deal with it, you know, see what happens next.
Firefighters say they are investigating the possibility that an electrical fire sparked the flames in the ceiling of the Trade Mart. However, they say the state fire marshal's office is heading up the investigation and they have not yet determined what started the fire. In Menifee County, Mark Barber, WKYT.
Mark, thank you. The business owners who lost property in the fire are still waiting to see whether their insurance will fully cover their losses. A man convicted of killing his own parents will get a new trial in Scott County. In a ruling released this morning, the Kentucky Supreme Court overturned the 2013 guilty verdict against James Anthony Gray. Gray is accused of gunning down his parents, James and Vivian Gray, at their Sadieville home in 2007. The state's high court ordered a new trial after ruling a confession used during the trial was coerced by detectives.
A Central Kentucky man accused of injuring a 7-month-old baby boy will be facing a judge in less than an hour now. Brandon True of Cynthiana is charged with wanton endangerment. Kentucky State Police questioned True at UK Hospital where the child was being treated. Officers say True admitted to shaking the boy for about 5 seconds. He'll be in court in Lexington at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Some local police chiefs are worried about their department's budgets after the federal government suspended the asset forfeiture program. It allowed police departments to seize money and property in federal cases and keep up to 80% of it. Hazard Police Chief Minor Allen says the money was a big help to keep his officers safe.
The asset forfeiture portion of it was just a little bit what you would say icing on the cake, because it did provide funds to buy equipment with and stuff.
Tonight at 6 on WKYT News, we will show you how much some departments, including Lexington, depended on that federal program and why some say they're glad it's gone. Well, the halftime show at tonight's UK home game is going to be a very special one.
A group of Lexington firefighters will play a little 5-on-5 to help out one of their own who's in the battle of his life. Matt Logston was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer last month. He's undergoing treatments in Chicago. Logston has been with the Lexington Fire Department for 10 years. Firefighters hope tonight's game will raise awareness for Matt and his fight. Nike made special jerseys for the firefighters to wear with hashtag Team Logston on the back. So far, a GoFundMe account for Logston has reached more than half its $50,000 goal.
And it's a big game tonight as well. All right, keep it here on WKYT with the presidential candidates facing off in South Carolina this weekend. A new set of polls is out showing that the race is changing. We'll have the latest from the campaign trail coming up on Kentucky's #1 Midday News.
Also ahead, Kanye West isn't saying he's a gold digger, but fans are reaching out to help the so-called struggling rapper. We'll explain next on WKYT.
Welcome back to WKYT News at noon. The South Carolina primary is now just 2 days away, and the Republican presidential candidates, the others, are hoping to sway votes away from frontrunner Donald Trump. He's ahead in the polls, but dealing with some criticism from a source that could impact his standing with religious voters. Craig Boswell explains.
Pope Francis is sounding off on Donald Trump. Before flying back to the Vatican from his visit to Mexico, the Pope responded to a question about Trump's pledge to build a wall on the U.S.-Mexican border. A person who thinks only about building walls and not of building bridges, he said, is not Christian. The Trump campaign has yet to comment. A new CBS News national poll shows Donald Trump with a 2-to-1 advantage over Ted Cruz.
Thank you so much, Congressman.
The only candidate left out of the top 5 in the poll is Jeb Bush. He stopped by a farmer's market in Florence, South Carolina Thursday morning.
If you want a president that can lead us through adversity, then I ask for your support on Saturday.
Governor Nikki Haley appeared at a town hall event with Marco Rubio after endorsing him for President Wednesday.
I'm here today to ask you for your vote because I am as conservative as anyone running in this race, but I am a conservative that can win.
John Kasich was out pumping up his campaign team here in Mount Pleasant, who'll be delivering his campaign message one door at a time.
It's really cool to see the sun starting to come up and the recognition starting to register, which we have not seen in
South Carolina's polls are set to open in less than 48 hours. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Mount Pleasant, South Carolina.
Now for the Democrats, a new CNN poll shows Hillary Clinton with just a 1-point lead over Bernie Sanders ahead of the Nevada caucuses.
President Obama will not be attending Justice Antonin Scalia's funeral this weekend. Instead, the White House says the president and first lady will pay their respects tomorrow when Scalia's body lies in repose at the Supreme Court. Vice President Joe Biden will attend Scalia's funeral Saturday at the Basilica of the National Shrine of the Immaculate Conception. President Obama says he plans to nominate Scalia's replacement when Congress returns from winter recess next week. The president will reportedly pick someone who has been supported by Republicans in the past. President Obama is also about to become the first U.S. commander-in-chief to travel to Cuba in nearly 9 decades. The White House says the president will visit Cuba in mid-March. The brief visit will mark a watershed moment for relations between the two nations. But Republican presidential candidate Ted Cruz, whose father fled to the U.S. from Cuba in the 1950s, says President Obama should not visit while the Castro family remains in power. So interesting controversy there. The last president who went was Calvin Coolidge in 1928.
A long time ago,
right.
Yes.
Well, fans of Kanye West have started a GoFundMe campaign to try to help the rapper pay his so-called debt.
West took to Twitter last weekend claiming that he has $53 million in personal debt. He even called on Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg to invest. But TMZ says the $53 million actually represents investment money that is tied up in his music and fashion lines.
The fund set up by Jeremy Piat of Minneapolis has collected more than $3,500 so far. More than 300 people have contributed, mostly giving around $500 or so. Sunday night's Grammy Awards paid off for some performers in more ways than one. Spotify streams of Lionel Richie music rose 146% after the all-star tribute to the Music Cares honoree during the ceremony. And streams of triple Grammy winners Alabama Shakes went up 89%. That's according to the service. Apparently viewers also watched the live stream of the telecast in big numbers. CBS's streaming service, All Access, broke records, up 192% from last year, and that may account for the reason why the Grammys saw the lowest ratings in 6 years on television. Well, Google and other technology companies are backing Apple in its fight against the U.S. government over the unlocking of an iPhone used by one of the San Bernardino shooters.
We'll have the latest on the debate coming up in a report on WKYT News at 12:30.
A good looking day outside, and those temperatures not all that bad. We'll actually finish off around normal finally. We'll get into that forecast and I'll show you much warmer conditions coming up.
Now, your zone by zone forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Upper 30s, lower 40s at the moment. That's actually warmer than we have been in a long time. So things even getting a little bit better by the afternoon. We still got about 3 or 4 more hours of heating left. So we'll finish off in the mid 40s, low to mid 40s. Temperatures aren't going to feel all that bad. They actually don't feel that bad outside right now, especially if you're in the sunshine. It's because we've been going 2.5 weeks of just these chilly and cold temperatures. So finally we're getting temperatures that are actually getting close to average. And we're finally feeling like normal around here. Maybe not me, Bill and Barb, but you know what? The temperature's 45 degrees. That's a good feel this time of year. You got to love that. Take you off into the evening. You're going out to eat. Maybe a big basketball game going on, whether it's high school or going off toward UK to see them beat Tennessee. You saw what I did there, Barb. You like that? Decent evening, though. We're talking about 42 degrees and absolutely nothing falling out of the sky. So you got to love that. Let's talk about your weekend planner. Friday is going to be at 60 degrees, very gusty winds. It's pumping in that milder air. Saturday at 62. So, yeah, I mean, these are really nice temperatures the next few days. Even on Sunday, we'll be in the upper 50s, lower 60s. And that's a really good day one to go fishing outside. And the reason being, I mean, you're talking about very nice temperatures and also looking at that system rolling through. It's only showers, not even thunderstorms. So that's some good weather to actually do some fishing. That's when the fish bite around here. Here's the look across the way. We get off into next week, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's a time frame that we're going to be watching very closely. I hate to even mention it. It's 6 to 7 days away. But this is our next system that we have to watch. So here comes the system barreling in from the south and southwest. Here it comes up the Appalachians. Could give us a mixture of rain and snow, or it could be snow. It's that again. This is about the third time we've seen this in, what, the past month and a half. So we'll see how this one turns out. But it is a system coming in from the south, which means better chance at heavier snow than the ones coming in from the north. So it's really something to watch the next few days. But all in all, the next few days, we can just sit back and relax. 45 degrees today, 60 for tomorrow. Then we'll be in the low to mid 60s there for Saturday. Friday, the big thing on Friday, it's how breezy the conditions will be. We're talking 30, 40 mile per hour wind gusts. And then Saturday, big story there is just how nice it is. I mean, we're talking low to mid 60s. Sunday, those showers move on in. That will change the pattern up as that system barrels through here on Tuesday off into Wednesday, guys. But I think the good news is we can focus on the next 3 to 4 days with temperatures upper 50s, lower 60s. And things are looking pretty good for the most part, yeah.
Enjoy a little taste of spring.
Isn't it? Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
Before
easy
more
to do.
winter.
Nice little break.
Okay, we got it. We're coming back on WKYT in just a moment, and the Cats are back home tonight.
And it's a chance to begin improving their postseason position. Dave Baker's next with sports.
As we head to break, let's check stocks. The situation at midday, markets are little changed.
One of the things that John Calipari has consistently said since coming to Kentucky is that the higher your seed, the better your chance of advancing in the NCAA tournament. And now with the regular season winding down, the chance to improve that seed dramatically is Kentucky's for the taking, especially after last night when the top team in the ACC, the Big Ten, and the Big 12, they all lost. So too did LSU to Alabama, who's now won 5 in a row, and that means the Cats are alone in first. But one of Cal's biggest frustrations the last couple of weeks of the regular season, no walk in the park for his club. And he believes SEC teams are punished by the pollsters more for a road loss than schools in other conferences.
Bad. These kids they're not machines, they're not computers. They play bad at times, and you lose a game. And it happens in every single league, except our league. It becomes this big issue, which is just disappointing. But I think in the end of the day, we'll get 5 to 6 teams in, and then we'll have teams advance like we always do.
Cats will still not have Alex Poythress tonight when they take on the Vols. Cal confirming the news, saying Poythress was able to do some stuff on the court during practice, but he's not ready to play as he recovers from a really mysterious knee injury. Next up tonight, Kentucky looking for that payback after they lost that 21-point lead in the second half in Knoxville. They host the Vols in Rupp Arena. Game is at 7 on ESPN. How about Madison Central and Lexington Catholic? We talked about the 11th region yesterday. Last night they're playing in the old Catholic gym. And the Indians, Tariq Miller with a hot hand. How about that nice pump fake and jumper? Miller, 33 points, 10 boards. The other way, it's Peter Whitman, hitting the glass off the miss and getting the easy 2, 18 points and 12 boards. And then watch this. Central on the outlet to Grant Brockman, who somehow flips it in. And Madison Central wins it 69-66 in double overtime. Boy, the district tournaments, they begin on Monday night. And that is a look at sports on your Thursday. Rob will be live from down at Rupp Arena a little bit later as we continue to get you ready for the Cats and the Vols. But for now, that's a look at sports, guys.
All right, thank you.
There's more to come in our next half hour of WKYT News at noon.
The Breeders' Cup spurred a huge growth in tourism for Lexington last year, and university presidents traveled to Frankfort today to express their concerns about a budget proposal. And they're hoping that the public will help them. We'll have reaction coming up in a report on WKYT News at 12:30.
Tomorrow night's Mega Millions jackpot is $104 million, and Saturday night's Powerball jackpot is $212 million.